I was here several times actually. I was in Lisboa many years ago for the first time, and then I did a few festivals in Algarve, in Portimao. So I was here quite often. Yeah, this festival is the first time I'm here. I knew about it because some of my students already came here in the past to perform, and I heard from them that it's a wonderful place to be, so I was very curious. I like it very much. I like the drive, the spirit of all those young kids walking around here and being all inspired and creative to play percussion. So I love it. For me, I would like to say, of course, congrats and a lot of thanks for the organization here. I also organize myself several competitions and festivals, international, and I know it's very hard work to do nowadays to raise the money, find the sponsors, so and it's super important to inspire the young kids because they are the future. I mean, if this is not happening, the creativity in the human being will disappear. So and I love the city very much, Tomar. I like it very much. We stay in a super nice hotel. Yeah, I love it. I love Portugal generally because I even think to move to Portugal in a few years. I mean, I teach in Belgium, and Portugal is not so far. It's 2 hours flight, and the winters are too long in Belgium. I think I talked about tone production through body movement, because marimba specifically is an instrument that's 3 meters long, so and it's very different than the other percussion instruments. Actually, you see nowadays the instrument is more separating from the percussion family because it's wood, it doesn't have a pedal, so it's the way how you move is how you control to play with sounds. And marimba also developed so much in the last 10 years that it became technically very high requirement instrument. So I teach mainly to focus how to reach the most beautiful sound when you play marimba. It's super important because you have a lot of different cultural backgrounds, also different ways of pedagogical ways to teach the instruments. I mean, Asia, America, Europe, there are many differences, but nowadays, due to the fact that there are competitions, that people gather and people start to discuss more and start to talk about what you think. So you see an international common development in percussion teaching and percussion playing as well. I played a double concerto for 2 marimbas, which is a composition from me, which I composed in 2010, I think. Yeah, so it's actually a concerto with Philharmonic Orchestra. It's world premiered in many countries for television, like Korea and China. But here I did a special version only with marimba ensemble, and it was actually students from here who played with me, and we only had 1 rehearsal, and they did a wonderful job because it's not an easy piece to do, especially not in 1 rehearsal. And then another piece I played, The Wave, is for marimba solo with percussion. So I played, of course, with percussion group from here, and which is a very spectacular piece with a lot of shouts and a lot of powerful percussion. And then I did some encores, like I did some improvisation for 6 and 8 mallets. I did some tune from Brazil, and it was very, very exciting. Yes, I studied percussion for many years, and then beginning of my career I was all-rounded, but then I focused more and more on marimba. I mean, not by my own choice, it's like my career was pushing me more into play the marimba, and I became a marimba player, so I don't play the rest anymore. Of course I teach it and I play it regularly, but my career is being marimba player. It was for a long time, percussion was not so respected because we played so many instruments, and most of the musicians were always saying or thinking like percussion is very easy because they can play so many instruments. Of course, over the years, let's say the last 20 years, every instrument by itself, vibraphone or drum set or marimba, developed so much and became very difficult to play. So nowadays it's rather difficult to maintain every instrument on a high level. So people specialize now more. If you want to be a drum set player, then you need to be really great in that. So people start in master to focus only on that. It's not possible anymore on the highest level to control every instrument. But for children, of course, basically education, they need to learn everything. But of course percussion is a very kind of young instrument comparing piano and violin. So the art of percussion became, first of all, technically very high demanding. It also gets more and more recognition, but the most important thing with percussion is it has a totally different reach to audience, because audience are very fascinated about sounds, about power, about drums, about drums, because it has a beat that a violin and a piano doesn't have. But every instrument offers its own sound form, I call this, and percussion is something that gives a lot of vibes to people who listen to it. But it's true that it still does not have the same status than piano or violin has in the classical world. But it cannot have the same status. It is different than the music is already different. We don't have Mozart, we don't have Bach's composed for our instrument. But I think I remember I played years ago when I was a student. We played Bach with a Marimba quartet, and the director of that time of the Royal Conservatoire in Antwerp, which was an organ player, he told to me, like, I'm so fascinated because I really do believe if composers like Bach or Mozart would have known the instruments in that time or what people can do now with it, they would compose a lot, because playing Bach on Marimba quartet is a lot more transparent than the classical instruments can do. So I think there's still a lot of challenge for percussion to reach and to do, but the creativity is there, and I think it will even grow more. And due also the fact that those organizations like here exist, it will, you see, the world is small. I mean, I meet here now people I already met somewhere else, so we keep meeting each other on places and events like here. It's a small family in a big world, but the world is not so big, because this family meets each other all the time, but it's a very supportive environment. There are a lot of percussion festivals, and I think percussion has the most presented festivals in the world. Even people think violin or piano or singing is the most. I think there are in percentage a lot more presented percussion festivals worldwide.